Welcome to historic downtown Ada. By taking a walking tour, you will learn about life in Ada around the dawn of the 20th century. A map and guide are available for download on the City of Ada website. Before 1900, there were several general stores, a blacksmith, a cotton gin, and even a photographer in Ada. The business district was moved further south and east in 1900 to be near the newly built railroad, where it has remained. The City of Ada became incorporated in 1901. Three railroads, the Frisco, the Santa Fe, and the Oklahoma City, Ada, and Atoka, once provided service to Ada. On New Year's Eve, each railroad had an engine parked at its station. At midnight, all three engines blew their whistles and rang their bells to welcome the new year. The Federal Courthouse and Opera House was built in 1903. The courtroom and Grayson Drugs were on the street level. An opera house and meeting room occupied the second floor. Later, the Ada Hotel occupied the second floor. This whole block was known as the Bucket of Blood because of the knife and gunfights that took place here. Ada was still Indian territory, and the judicial system was notorious for allowing criminals to get away with little or no punishment. The McSwain Theater was built in 1920. Tickets cost 15 cents for adults and a dime for children. The Spanish Mission-style building could hold 1,350 people. Foster McSwain is said to have introduced to Ada the idea of drawing for cash door prizes. The first talkie film shown in Ada was at the McSwain. At one time, there were 4 other theaters here: the Kiva, the Strand, the Ritz, and the Ada Theater. Gene Autry even made a personal appearance in Ada to promote one of his movies. The Ada National Bank opened in 1900. Cotton was the primary cash crop at the time, and the second story of the building housed the offices of cotton brokers. Wagons of baled cotton lined up for blocks in all directions during fall harvest. Brokers literally jumped from wagon to wagon, bargaining with farmers about a fair price for their crops. The Merchants and Planters Bank was established in 1902. Pharmacist Joe Bryan later opened his corner drugstore in this building. Corner drugstores were popular hangouts for young people in the early 1900s. Many drugstores had car hops during the 1930s, but that practice ended when young men were called to serve in World War II. What is now Juliana Park was the site of the Harris Hotel, built in 1903. The original building had only 2 stories. It's not certain when the upper story was added. The Harris Hotel was known far and wide for its excellent service and cuisine. The Harris Hotel was purchased in the 1930s and renamed the Juliana in honor of its new owner, Julia May Smith. Mrs. Smith and her husband had struck oil near Fitztown, Oklahoma, and did much to develop the Ada business community. The Memorial Convention Hall originally stood on the site of the present Ada City Hall. The impressive 2-story building cost $100,000 to erect. Will Rogers, several Oklahoma governors, and other dignitaries performed or lectured here. The building also housed the Ada Youth Center, the American Legion, the Boy Scouts, the Red Cross, the Chamber of Commerce, and the National Guard. The block between Townsend and Broadway on 12th Street became the business hub during the first decade of the 1900s. Among the stops located here were the Post Office, Home Title Abstract, Biddy Printing Company, and the R.B. Evans Candy Company. A hotel known as the Colonnade stood in the middle of the block. Many people expected 12th Street to be the main street of Ada. In 1909, it was the first to be paved. The Central Fire Station was built around 1908. The original building served as Ada City Hall and housed office space, the library, and an auditorium on its second floor. The Ada Fire Department was housed at street level. In 1909, the city had 2 paid firemen. The day fireman drew $50 a month, while the night fireman was only paid $25. This building was remodeled in 1939. The Aldrich Hotel was constructed around 1927 at a cost of $300,000. Oil men and celebrities used to gather at the Aldrich, and it could be assumed many significant business deals were struck in the coffee shop. Some of the movie Tulsa, starring Susan Hayward and Robert Preston, was filmed in the Ada area, and the cast stayed at the Aldrich Hotel while they were here. This location occupies an important place in Ada's history, as it probably served as the site for planning the 1909 hanging. The Masons were politically active during this time, and it is believed that many of them had a part in the event. All the participants made a pact to keep the proceedings secret. The pact was kept, and no one knows for certain to this day the identity of those involved. The First National Bank, now known as Vision Bank, has been in the same location since 1902. The original building had a turret on the corner. The bank actually opened for business in the Alfred Nettles hardware store down the street while the original building was being finished. 2 doors to the east was the Palm Garden, a popular teen hangout in the 1920s. The Oklahoma State Bank was organized in 1903 as the Citizens National Bank. The Citizens National Bank became the Oklahoma State Bank in 1908 and remained on this corner until 1965. The old vault is still intact and might be viewed upon permission from the current occupant. There is much more to see and learn about historic downtown Ada. Make time to take the walking tour on your own. Remember, a map and guide are available for download anytime on the City of Ada website.